It's no secret that people are crazy about eggs. We can't seem to stop eating them. In July 2018, the US produced more than 7.9 billion eggs for consumption. That's more eggs than there are people on the planet. But shopping for eggs can be a little confusing. What do all these different labels mean? Are brown eggs different than white eggs? Which eggs are the best deal for your money? Which are the most humane? And finally, are eggs good for you? This is the Conscious Consumer's Guide to Eggs. Let's start with sizes. The 5 primary sizes of eggs you're likely to see in the grocery store are small, medium, large, extra large, and jumbo. These sizes are set under guidelines by the USDA, and they're determined by weight per dozen. You can expect a small carton to weigh about 18 ounces, medium 21 ounces, large 24 ounces, extra large 27 ounces, and jumbo 30 ounces. These weight classes take into account the weight of the entire carton, not necessarily the individual eggs, so don't be surprised if you find a small egg in your jumbo carton. Like snowflakes, all eggs are unique and special. You may have noticed that some egg cartons in the store are issued grades. Not all cartons will have these. Grades aren't mandatory, and any companies who get their eggs graded actually pay the USDA for this service. The eggs can be categorized into 3 grades: grade AA, A, and B. The grades are determined by the quality of the whites and yolks, as well as what the outer shell looks like. US grade AA is the highest of the 3 grades, and it's given to eggs that have thick whites, nice round yolks, and unblemished shells. Grade AA is best if you're frying or poaching an egg. Really, it's good for any dish where appearance is very important. US grade A eggs, which you'll typically find at the grocery store, are pretty similar to grade AA eggs. The only real difference is that they have reasonably firm whites, as opposed to very firm whites. The whites of eggs categorized as US grade B tend to be thinner, and the yolks may not be perfectly round. And while the shells won't be broken, they might not look perfect either. Grade B eggs are typically used to make liquid or dried egg products. As of 2017, about 84% of hens that lay eggs in the US live in battery cages, densely packed cages that don't give hens any chance to really roam outside. About 16% of egg-laying hens in the US are cage-free hens, which means the hens live in indoor houses and are free to roam both vertically and horizontally. The USDA's definition of cage-free also requires that the chickens have access to fresh food and water. The USDA's definition of free-range means that hens must not only be able to roam both vertically and horizontally, but they must also be given free access to the outdoors while they're producing eggs. This outdoor area is allowed to be fenced in and must keep the chickens safe from predators. Both cage-free and free-range eggs are grouped together in statistics. Additionally, there are a few labels used for eggs that are actually issued through nonprofits. 3 big ones you might have seen are American Humane Certified, Certified Humane, and Animal Welfare Approved. Now, these labels don't follow any set meaning from the government, and companies pay to have these labels added to their products. Most chicken eggs are either brown or white. Some can even be bluish-green. It's all based on the hen's breed. For example, Leghorn chickens tend to lay white-colored eggs, whereas Plymouth Rock chickens tend to lay brown-colored eggs. It's just a matter of what pigments the hen produces. So is there a nutritional difference between colors? Not really. Nutritionally speaking, eggs are very similar, regardless of color. One factor that can impact the nutritional makeup of an egg: the hen's environment. A 2014 study published in the journal Nutrition found that eggs produced from free-range hens have 3 to 4 times the amount of vitamin D compared to cage-raised hens that are kept indoors. And although there isn't much of a nutritional difference between brown and white eggs, brown eggs tend to be a little more expensive. What gives? The hens that lay brown eggs tend to be larger, and according to USDA research food technologist Deanna Jones, they need more nutrients in their bodies to produce the pigment, so more feed, more color, more expensive. But what about yolks? The color of an egg's yolk is primarily determined by the hen's diet. Certain plants or additives used in chicken feed contain yellow-orange pigments called xanthophylls. When ingested by a hen, these pigments give the yolk a rich yellow color. Some producers even add marigold petals, carrots, or other additives to their feed to give their hens' eggs a rich yellow-orange color. Hens that are fed a wheat and barley diet, on the other hand, tend to produce a paler color yolk. White cornmeal diets can even result in a yolk that's virtually devoid of color. So now that we know all of that, one polarizing question remains. Are eggs good for you? It's been the subject of heated debate since the late 1970s. Around that time, doctors began realizing that cholesterol, that fatty substance that's important for digestion and cell function, can put us at risk for heart disease when consumed in excess. A lot decided then that high cholesterol foods like butter, red meat, and yes, even eggs, should be avoided. And while consuming cholesterol can increase levels of it in the blood, a growing number of studies, according to NPR, have shown that most of the cholesterol in our bodies is heavily influenced by things like genetics, gender, age, and overeating things like trans fats and sugars. Dr. Walter Willett, a Harvard Medical School professor, has studied thousands of patients and hasn't found evidence that a moderate level of egg consumption increases one's risk for heart disease, except for those already at risk due to genetics. At the end of the day, there's no black and white answer. As Willett told NPR, "It is hard to say that eggs are good or bad. In terms of health, they seem to be in the middle somewhere.